our life, in modern life, getting the guru as we used to get in earlier times is a little difficult. But let's suppose somebody has this self-effort. How important is spiritual initiation in that case? Like, how much does the spiritual initiation help? Thank you.
This question gets raised again and again as to the importance of guru, importance of initiation. And I can relate to it because I too used to have this question. But if you look across all the different scriptures, if you see the advice of great teachers and experience of great teachers, and even the common sense, you can see that to have guru is essential. Without that, one will not be able to progress. Guru is most important. It is that without Guru, Sri Ramakrishna says that you will be like a person who cannot go anywhere. You need some vehicle to take you. He gives the example of a big boat, and a small little boat can go. He asked, how long will it take for this little boat to go to Konnagar? And a long time, if at all, it is because the currents go this way, that way. So it may take a long time. And then there are those currents go this way, that way. Then the small little boat may get toppled, and it is very risky to go when there are such winds and big tidal waves. So, but if you tie that ship, that your boat, to a big ship, then it is much safer, quicker. You are assured that you will reach there. So it is the Upanishad says Acharyavan Purusho Veda. If somebody has a teacher, then that person can know. Moreover, the difficulties that you speak of in the modern times, in modern times it has become actually easier to get the guru. What has happened in modern times is the resistance inside against having the guru. Out of this idea, a big ego of I am a very intelligent person, I am highly educated, I have 3 PhDs, I have so many other credentials. So why a person of my stature need a guru? That it is, if you analyze, it is just stupidity. But this kind of ego prevents us from approaching a guru. I can understand scriptures. I can read. I even have studied Sanskrit. And so why a person of my stature need a guru? Those other lesser mortals, they can look for one. But somebody like me, I don't need. So that becomes a big problem in a person getting the guru, ego, that I don't need guru. then why should I pay obeisance to an ordinary human being who may not have any qualifications that I have? Why should I approach that person for instructions? This is also a common hindrance because, oh, that person, that some Swami, uh, he doesn't seem to be that brilliant, doesn't seem to know much either. So, why should I seek some kind of advice from that person? So, there are such hindrances. Moreover, one feels that the Guru may cheat me. Hmm. It is, Guru may cheat me. There are stories, and most of them are true, that you go to a Guru and then the Guru uh, is having ulterior motive, cheats you, robs you of everything that you have, and thus you are scared that why should I have a Guru like that? And how do I know that the Guru is not uh, of this type? So these questions do come. But these questions uh, are can be answered, can be looked into, provided one thing clear that without Guru there is no knowledge. Do you say that why should I go to schools? I can just read the book and that's about it. Majority of people, they therefore have to go to school. One or two exceptions, they also have homeschooling. Means some kind of schooling is there. So, all even for that ordinary knowledge, you require a guru. Uh, Swami Brahmananda used to say that even if somebody wants to learn thieving, a guru is needed for that. So, therefore, for this purpose, let us be sure. How to find is one thing, but without Guru, there is no progress in this path. Let us be assured of this. Guru has to be there. Now, the second question can be looked into. That the Guru may be a cheat, a fraud. It usually happens if our intentions also are not sanguine enough. We are also looking for some miracles in life. We also are thinking that, well, with that, I have a nagging migraine problem that will go away if I get initiation from somebody, or my blood pressure and such issues, they will, the health and wealth, things will be, all very well arranged if I get a guru. So now that very motive is a worldly motive, not a spiritual motive. So therefore, you get that kind of gurus who are also looking for some worldly benefits. So that is, if our motive, our wish is that yes, I want spiritual illumination, then you will look for the right guru. In Vivekachudamani that we had been studying, there is a beautiful description how the guru should be. Swami Vivekananda quotes it in Bhakti Yoga. Shrotriyah avrijinah akamhata. That Shrotriya means the one who has grasped the essence of scripture. What is that essence? That God realization is the goal of life. That is the reality. God alone is real. That has been grasped by that person. That is called Shrotriya. Shrotriya means the Shruti. From the word Shruti, the word Shrotriya comes. Then avrajino, and straightforward. There should not be crookedness there that will be telling one thing, something else in the mind. No, it must be straightforward in that dealings. So, avrajinaha and akamahataha, there should be absolutely no ulterior motives in the guru, that by giving mantra to this fellow, then I will be able to rob the wealth of that person. All such ideas should not be there. So, therefore, the guru, one should see if the guru, a person that you are approaching, is looking for some such things. Sri Ramakrishna gave the best uh, criteria for that. What is it? Kama and Kanchana. If that guru is looking for some gratification of senses or getting money, that it is, then that guru cannot be there. If a guru is giving some false promises that, oh, when you have come under me, you won't have to do any sadhana, no spiritual practice necessary. I will touch you, and then your kundalini will get awakened and you will get God realization in no time. Don't believe such things. Surely such are frauds. It is the our one Marathi saint, Ramdas Swami, he says that the one who does not insist on the disciples doing the proper spiritual practice, such gurus, even if you get 3 for a penny, don't take them. So it is, I say, Guru paisha se tina miyale tari na ghene. So it is very important that the one who gives you some terrible, miraculous promises, no, that cannot be the Guru. So you have to have the Guru. And if you see that in, for example, in our order, the Guru is God, Sri Ramakrishna is the Guru. Whosoever gives initiation, that is only Guru in the secondary sense. Right from the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother also, although she is inseparable from Sri Ramakrishna, but she also said Sri Ramakrishna is all in all. He is the Guru, he is your chosen ideal. Hold on to Sri Ramakrishna. So that Guru and God are not separable. That Guru is an expression of God, the one who gives knowledge, the form of God who gives the knowledge, that is called Guru. So Sri Ramakrishna used to say that about Guru one should never harbor the attitude of a human being, because our attitude tells us what kind of these benefits we may get out of it. For example, it is, there are these images behind. If you think of them as Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swamiji, you will get that benefit. If you think that these are some glass frame, some pictures printed there, this fellow doesn't look so good. What kind of beard? He doesn't seem to trim his beard properly. He doesn't know how to dress. There is an incident in anecdotal incident in Santa Barbara. She can corroborate, or that it happened with Swami Vandananandaji, that when some Hollywood star and then came to the the temple for service there. And then he was just in a short and some kind of, that means not really properly attired for religious service. So he said, well, why don't you put on some better clothes for coming here? And he pointed to Sri Ramakrishna. Eh, hey, this look at your dude. What has he put on? Ah. And Vandananandji said, okay, the similarity ends just there. So it is. So if you have that kind of attitude, then you will get just that. You go to the image that say of Ganesha. If you see as Ganesha, you will get the benefit of Ganesha. If you see that it is some stone or some such clay, then you will have only clay. So about the Guru, if you have the attitude that this is the expression of God that has come to give me knowledge, you will get that. If the attitude is different, you will not get it. So therefore, you get the Guru by properly connecting. It is somebody, one of my students, was showing some inordinate kind of devotion for this fellow. You are Guru and all. Yes. So it is, I gave an analogy that, you get water from the faucet at your home. Now, the faucet is actually connected to a reservoir somewhere, maybe 1,000 miles away, who knows? From that reservoir, you are getting water through this faucet. That this faucet is not really that the source of water, but it brings water to you. For you, when you want to get a water, you go to the faucet. You don't have to walk all the way 1,000 miles to the reservoir. But your attitude about the faucet should not be how beautiful this faucet is to look at. Look at the shape, the metal that it is. It is to get the water from that faucet. That is how you go there for. So the Guru should be approached with this attitude that this is what brings me the water, the knowledge. So it is like that. Do not give too much this thing that this is Sri Ramakrishna. That is a form of Sri Ramakrishna or God that is here from whom I get the blessings. But that particular faucet, if you go just to and lick the faucet, you don't get water thereby. So this is the both ways one has to understand the Guru. The approach should be to get the proper knowledge, you will get knowledge. Otherwise, you will get whatever your attitude is. As Thakur used to say that as is the bhav, so is the labh. Your benefit will depend on what attitude you have. Raj has a question.
Swamiji, my question is about the Nidhi, Sravana Mana Nithi Dhyasana.
Please, hold like this so that, yeah.
Shravana Manana Nithi Dhyasana. So this is in your first talk, I think you said briefly about Vedantic, about witness meditation.
Yeah.
I think some of that I thought you were referring to the Niti Dhyasana probably. But what is the difference between Vedantic meditation and yogic meditation?
Oh.
And give us some practical tools, if you would, about Vedantic meditation?
There are, Vedantic meditations are that actually yogic meditation, the word is a little misleading. The yogic meditation, yoga is just an aspect of Vedanta. Vedanta is as the practicalization of the Vedantic ideals, what is done is called yoga. So yoga is the practicalization of the theoretical understanding. You understand, and then like in schools, I give this example that you can finish the reading of a book on swimming maybe in 2 hours. Will that make you Michael Phelps? You have to do the practice, dedicated, determined, long practice. So the meditations prescribed and depends on the level of the student. Like Gaudapadacharya prescribes a meditation, he discards this idea of this yogic, means practicing yama, niyama, pranayama as a very slow method. He connects it to this, gives this analogy. It is like you take a blade of hay and then with that try to empty the whole ocean drop by drop. So yogic meditation is something like that, that every drop you try to take out, so that all your sanskaras are thus exhausted and you realize the truth. Gaudapadacharya says, no, that's not needed. This world is unreal. It is manifestation of this self. Know that this knowledge is the meditation. So know this. That is the meditation for Gaudapadacharya. That is the true, in a way, the highest Vedantic meditation, that you know. And after, as you know, there is nothing more to it. You have realized the truth. Now, if you are not ready for it, okay, then go through all these preliminary practices that slowly try to control your body, mind, put that under your, strong will, and thus direct it. This is also told in Vedanta. For example, in Mundak Upanishad, you read about this, that it is Vedantic but also yogic. Means in yoga treatises also it is told, like Patanjali has described it like this, that you gradually go yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, then pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, dhyana, then samadhi, all this, step by step, go step by step in this way. So in Mundak Upanishad, it is told that, okay, you get the proper advice from the guru, the teacher. That is how it begins. Tad vijnanartham sa guru mevabhigachet. And it is to in your another evidence in answering that your earlier question, that it is told in Mundak Upanishad that to know that supreme truth, one must go eva, that there is no other way but to go to Guru. Shankaracharya comments specially on this word eva, that शास्त्रज्ञोपि स्वातंत्र्येण ब्रह्मज्ञानान्वेषणं न कुर्यात्. Even if somebody is well versed in scriptures, on one's own this strength one should not try to realize the truth. So this is Mundak Upanishad says, now whatever the Guru has told, whatever the Upanishadic doctrines that you know, think of that as the Dhanurgrahitva Upanishadam Mahastram, that let that be considered like a big bow. And then Sharam hi upasa nishitam sandadhita, that the arrow, let the arrow be practicing that advice by the teacher. And then without any, you said, without letting the mind run away here and there, concentratedly, now you hit the arrow on the target. So that is, they also told in yoga as well as in Vedanta. So it is the meditation of, there is you can make many different types of meditations. There is like the meditation in the Buddhist, these various schools, they have different types, like Mahayana, this meditation. Again, there is the meditation with the proper Buddhist mantra, and so forth, hundreds of them. Then there are the meditations according to the Taoist meditations. So there are Jewish meditations. So there are all these different types there. So therefore, it is wrong to say that these are all very different from each other. And the techniques here and there, again, every teacher gives some different technique. There was one teacher, I saw he has in Omkareshwar, he has a school there called Vigyan Shala. So what does it they do there? The initiation of that sect is very nice. That a pitcher of water or a jar of water and then a crystal of salt. So you put that crystal of salt in the water. Imagine that crystal to be you, and then that water pot to be Brahman, and see that it becomes one with it. So it is not that the salt is gone. Now it has become one with that Brahman or the water. So this is one technique of meditation. Do it every day till you realize this truth. So this is the practice of meditation that they prescribe. So the ways are innumerable, and that is why a guru is required, so that you do not try this today, that tomorrow, that nay, because we read something and then say, hey, let me give it a try. But that may not constitutionally suit you. Secondly, you read another book and another thing is told there. So you get the idea, okay, let me try this. So you do not do anything right. So that is why there are Vedantic meditations and yogic meditations are also, depends on how you define Vedanta and how you define yoga. Yoga is as such the practical side of in Vedanta. There is the theoretical side, there is the practical side. Like in Bhagavad Gita, in second chapter, where the yoga word comes first there, that is the 39th verse. Esha te abhihita sankhye buddhi yoge tu imam shruno. That whatever has been told to you as a logical, rational process of understanding the self. Now, let me describe it to you in terms of the practicalization of it. So, that is the yoga word is used there. That don't think that this is just an intellectual, flights or imaginary things, but actually one can put that into practice. So that is yoga, and what proceeds after that is mainly karma yoga, the yoga of action. So if that is the idea of yoga that we have, that practice of various actions with the spirit that God alone is the doer, or with the spirit of detachment, then that working in that spirit becomes meditation. So that can be called karma yogic meditation. Then there is the bhakti yogic meditation that is described in 7th, 8th, 9th chapter. Up to 12th chapter, you see that idea repeated about feeling the presence of that one God in everything and getting forming a loving connection with that God is the one who feeds me. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Surat. That God is my dwelling place. The God is the one who feeds me. God is my, shows me the path, and He is my Lord. I am connected to that. I am the servant. He is my Lord. So that is the bhakti yoga meditation. So yoga depends on what you think as yoga. In Bhagavatam, because you study Bhagavatam, and there are all these beautiful meditations told. It is that, okay, concentrate, hold the breath, and so forth. That is one type of meditation. And then another meditation told there is that offer everything that you have to God. Do not expect anything from the God. That work, it becomes a part of meditation there. These are all yogic meditations. There are tantric meditations. So and there are the combinations of these, because these are not cut and dried divisions. There is a lot of overlap between these. So it is not that the difference is very clear. There is no difference as such. Different techniques everywhere in yoga as well as in Vedanta, in Drigdrishya Viveka, a great treatise of non-dual Vedanta, that it is the meditation given is very nice, that try to feel the drik, means the one who is the seer, and differentiate it from the seen. Great idea that you feel first that I is the seer and this is all seen. But then I also is part of the body. Now you see the I becomes, instead of seer, the seen. Then you think that then the mind is the seer. The whole body is the seen. They are not seer. So thus you transcend. Now, one idea, a very important idea that I had stressed earlier also, that the transcendence of the forms, transcendence of the differences to reach the unity. So this gives you transcendence of body. And then you see that even this mind is not I, the seer. Go further deep. Thus, all happens to be just seen and so discarded. Where is the seer? This exercise then becomes very funny, that it is like peeling the onion. Thakur gave that analogy. If you keep peeling the onion, oh, this is skin, this is not onion. Then inside again it appears to be skin. You peel it off. That is also not onion. Then that is also not onion. Ultimately, nothing is left. So you realize the oneness of existence there through that kind of drishya meditation. Very, very nice. Yeah. So there are all these differences. They are yogic as well as Vedantic. Mm. And then tantric meditations are very different. In tantras, you get mantra diksha from the guru, and then the power of the guru gets transmitted to you through that mantra. Uh, so now that mantra is called that like a seed. It is Tantra tremendously uses this symbology. So it becomes a symbol like a seed. Now the seed is potentially the tree. So now you have to nurture that seed so that it becomes that huge tree. So the tree is potentially there in the seed, but your upasana or that repetition of the mantra and all that, that becomes nurturing that seed so that it develops into the tree. So that is the tantric meditation. In our order, this mantra diksha and that procedure has a lot of tantra element in it. Yeah.
Maharaj, this is from the Gospel. This is 22nd December 1883, when M is staying at Dakshineshwar with Thakur. And this is his 8th day, morning 9 o'clock. So devotee asks the question, has God form or is he formless? So master is responding, wait, first of all, you must go to Calcutta. Then only you will know where the Maidan is. The Asiatic Society and the Bengal Bank are located. If you want to go to the Brahmin quarter of Khorda, you must first of all go to Khorda. Why should it not be possible to practice the discipline of the formless God? But it is very difficult to follow that path. One cannot follow that path without renouncing woman and gold. There must be complete renunciation, both inner and outer. You cannot succeed in this path if you have the slightest trace of worldliness. Now, then he states, it is easy to worship God with form, but it is not as easy as all that. And then after that, one should not discuss the discipline of the impersonal God or the path of knowledge with a bhakta. Through great effort, perhaps he is just cultivating a little devotion. You will endure it if you explain away everything as a mere dream. Maharaj, how do we approach this last part about a bhakta who is developing this devotion, and then this knowledge of impersonal God enduring that?
Yes, that is very correct. That therefore, whenever in a group of devotees, whether monastics or non-monastics, this idea is discussed, the bhakti is kept as the prominent thing. And that world is unreal, there is stated only to emphasize that God alone is real. The unreality of the world is not very important. The reality of God alone is important. So therefore, if you just keep on harping only on the unreality of the world, then a common person who has not that elevated understanding and that pure heartedness will get totally confused, will not be able to move forward at all. So, therefore, it is always advised, no. He says that it is the question of actual travel. So, after the question was asked, instead of giving the direct answer, this tremendously, if that expert psychologist, Sri Ramakrishna, he does not give a direct answer. He says to see the Maidan, you have to go to Kolkata first. That you have to do the practice. I mean, just otherwise it is a matter of talk. Then he says that the formless aspect is very, very difficult. This is just paraphrasing what Lord Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Avyakta gatir dukkham dehavadbhiravapyate. That because we are, the word dehavat is a very strong, very important word there. Means the one who is so much identified with body, not attached to body. Attachment is comparatively a minor thing. And we are not attached to body, we are body, identified with it. So what happens is all our ideas, all our perceptions, all our thinking happens only in the realm of body. Without body, we do not get any idea. Everything has to have a form for us. Without form, we cannot think. And that is why we have to use form to transcend form. That is the worship of God with form. And Sri Ramakrishna again and again stressed this point that they are not separate. The one who is with form is also formless. And each of us is actually like that. That is form and formless. Like Brahma Prana, Mataji, has she a form or doesn't have a form? What? Huh? Both, even by abstracting form, you still have that same reality. And then that appears to you as this. With everything, it is a chair and there is a form. But then the concept chair, that is the Socratic thinking, it is a form. This chair may go, but the chair form remains. So that is a formless form. It is not a particular form, but this is our constitutional compulsion that our thinking proceeds only with form, sometimes subtle, sometimes gross. So till we transcend this, the word for it is just a word for us. The formless is also a form for us. We call it formless. We call that as formless. It is not actually formless. Swami Vivekananda says, look, what idea do we get when we say formless? A sky or an infinite ocean. And they are just forms. We call those forms as formless. So they do not become actually formless by calling it like that. So we do not have any idea of formless because we are identified with body. When we get disidentification with body, that is what Sri Ramakrishna says in a very practical term, go beyond the attractions of worldly pleasures and the money with which you can buy it. So it is when you can do that, then the word formless makes some sense for you. Correct. That Bhuvan has a question.
Swamiji, In Vivekachudamani, it says that prarabdha is like an arrow which is already shot, and Holy Mother says that if one is to get a sword, then because of one's past karma, then one will definitely get a needle. So, can you explain how these seemingly contradictory statements can be reconciled?
Firstly, the prarabdha, this question is only relevant in the context of the trying to explain the life of a person who has realized the truth and the body is still continuing. Now, what makes the body continue? Then some kind of an explanation is to be found out for satisfying the curiosity. So the word prarabdha is used. The prarabdha does not affect that person who has gone beyond the sense of all body and other limitations. The prarabdha is because he is not identified with body and mind, so doesn't have any prarabdha. But for those who are looking at that person, they, for their logical satisfaction, some doctrine has to be given. So, prarabdha. Then, for others, the word prarabdha actually is the result of the karma. Now, the karma will have its own result. You do action, every action will have a result. But there is another action that can intervene it if somebody has devotion. Now, because of that devotion, certain very painful effects of the action can be ameliorated a little bit. So, it is told where there could have been a big wound, say by a sword, instead of the sword, there would be a pinprick. So that is the idea that, but it does not violate the law of karma. The law of karma is without exception, but its domain has to be seen. It has a domain of operation where it is applicable. You cannot apply the law of karma beyond that sphere. So, it is applicable when you have the ego I. Then you, whatever actions you do, you know that you have done it. And then you deserve the result of it. And so you attract it to you. It is like you spend, say, go to a shop, pay some amount, buy an umbrella. Now you have done the deal, paid the money, got the umbrella. So you say that it is my umbrella, isn't it? It is my umbrella, that an expression of that ego, I and mine. My money, I paid that, I earned that money, I paid that money, and so now this umbrella I got, this is my umbrella. Exactly same with karma. I did this action. And so the result also comes to me. You cannot avoid it. That's it. But when this person surrenders to God, means that ego is effaced, the doership is effaced. Now, the action not having the power of ego, the result will get different. That original action will be added, combined with another action of devotion. And so the resultant will be a combination of the two. That there is the devotion and there is, so like they tell that so many those rockets are getting fired into, this is just example, don't no political or any conclusions to be drawn from this. Now there are the other missiles that shoot down those rockets. So now it is like that one rocket is directed, now it will have its result. But then another rocket comes and intervenes it. So it cannot have that effect now. So similarly, this what you think one karma, this karma of devotion, it nullifies it. So that is how it happens. Here is one. He had asked many nice questions.
I always have to.
So, Swamiji, we say that when a person dies, the body dies, and the soul leaves the body. What happens to the mind?
Mind is, nothing happens to it. And they say the body falls off. And then the question of what happens to the mind doesn't arise. It is, nothing happens to it. According to its desires, their desires are in mind. Desires are not in body. That mind, I'm using this word, because you used it. It is actually, we should say that this soul with causal and subtle body. That now, according to its desires and actions, acquires another gross body. If there are no desires, then there is no need for another body. It has become liberated. So that is what happens to the mind. The 15th chapter, not only body, the sense organs, everything, only the gross body, what you were asking about, that pranamaya kosha. Raj was asking also about that pranamaya kosha, that is a kosha, means only the food sheath, annamaya kosha, that falls off with death. It has become unusable, old, or whatever reason. Now that is not connected with the remaining aspect of the personality. So the reflection of consciousness along with the other sheets like pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, they and anandamaya kosha, they now look for another covering, another gross body. So that is, they get another birth because there are desires. According to the desires, they get the body. So this is a very interesting phenomena. You will see it is, you cannot really talk much about it because our discussions, they pertain to the only to those things which we can intellectually understand. Those things which are beyond that, we cannot see. So in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is told when somebody dies, then what goes away? Chakshu Shrotram Sparshanam Cha. All these sense organs. Then along with mind and intellect, it now gets separated and gets another body, goes to another body. So how it happens? Now Lord says that the person who doesn't have pashyanti jnana chakshusha. Yatanto yoginaschainam pashyanti atmanyavasthitam. So yatantah yoginah cha eva, that such people, yogis, and who are intently trying in the right way, they would be able to see it. Yatantopi akritatmano nainam pashyanti achetasah. That the one who has not, akritatmano means the one who has not purified the mind. Even if that person is making an attempt, trying, yatantopi, one who is trying. But akritatmano means not having the level of purification, will not be able to see it. Those yogis will be able to see that how this process happens, going from one body to another body. It is not a passage that you can describe through your gross senses, that you may see that, well, you are going from this room to that place there. It can be seen, you can be photographed and so forth. How after death, this remaining part of the personality goes, where it goes, what happens, that is not happening in the gross space at all. So it is not visible. It is not sensible to our gross senses. They have been left behind. So only the subtle aspect is taken away, and then the next gross aspect gets added. I sometimes they give that analogy that your phone, you have decided to change your phone. So because like the body, after some years that phone doesn't seem to charge, has problems. She was telling my phone is not probably working properly. It is, it is because it has a life cycle. So, and it is made with the idea that it should last about 4 or 5 years. So that earlier they used to last longer. But then the companies want to make profit. So it is called in business circles that planned that obsolescence. It is planned already that after 4 years it has to be discarded. So this body can last meaningfully for a certain time. After that, it is, warranty is over. Now, after that, it may survive with some debilities. Like you cannot chew with teeth, you cannot properly hear that it is. So it is. We had a sound engineer some 2 years ago, that acoustic engineer. So he was telling that, well, if your audience, if they are getting old, naturally their hearing will get diminished. And now if you increase the volume for their benefit, the others will find it so difficult. So therefore, the proper solution, which is difficult, but it would be to put the earphone specials for those people. They can enhance the volume right at their seat. So that others will not have the very big volume getting into their ears. Although he said that the psychology plays in there, nobody wants to show that they are old. So therefore, once in our gathering, people were not coming forward to sit. They were sitting in the back. So I announced that the back seats are only for the old people. Then many came and sat up front. So it is, so that is, their capabilities dwindle, and that needs to be discarded. The phone needs to be discarded, like that the body needs to be discarded. There is, one should not think too much about it. Preserving the body long, it is just prolonging death. It is not prolonging life, it is prolonging death. So it becomes antique body, just as if you have the antique cars, This was car from 1936. Now what is that? It doesn't drive, it is just, it occupies real estate, that's all. So it is like that. The body goes, and then these other things remain there. They you find out another phone, and then whatever files, photographs and other things you had on your old phone, those things you transfer on the new phone. That is how it is done. But you do not see the transfer happening. How it happens with a microscope, you cannot see that it is, sometimes they create a visual just to give you a satisfaction, as if the file is going on the screen, going from like this to like this. It is just a deception, Actually, it is not so. So that is how all the files, that is the mind. A general simplistic term is the mind, that the mind gets transferred from here to there.
Swami,
Ah.
to the end of our hour, did you want to take one more question or?
Somebody has raised that hand here.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I have no problem. If they have no problem, I have no problem. Okay, yeah. Come on, you can ask now.
Okay. Swamiji, thank you for the 3 days, blessed to be around. One of the things that I've heard from the teachings is about digging wells in different areas rather than digging in one place and going deep. Now, from our backgrounds, I'm a Ganesh Bhakta to start with, and then now follow, Ramakrishna Mataji and Swamiji. And then also there are a lot of invited lectures within the different centers where we listen to a lot of different gurus. And there is always something that is presented slightly differently. And so what does that really mean in terms of digging in different places? And how can we make sure that that's not what we are doing when we're trying to go to...
Good question. It is, therefore, whatever you learn from other sources, you should learn, but integrate it with what your guru has told you. Otherwise, it will be like digging holes in 10 places and not finding anything. So, like you are, say, a Ganesh Bhakta. Now the question is, Ganesha is not a living ideal. There is, it is a symbolism that, see, the Hindus have wonderful these patterns of worship at different levels. The best worship is described as Uttamastu Brahma Sadbhavo. Feel the presence of the Brahman everywhere. That is the best worship. Now, if you are not able to feel that, then make some kind of a symbol. Either that symbol may be anthropomorphic or non-anthropomorphic. Non-anthropomorphic is better, but less relatable. It is being non-anthropomorphic, like a Shiva Lingam is non-anthropomorphic. Om is non-anthropomorphic. But we do not find it easily relatable. So we give some human features, attach human features to that. Like Om, we give a human like figure to it, Ganesha. Ganesha is actually Om made into an image. So a human-like image with elephant head and then you can weave stories around it. But that is a symbol. Then Durga is a symbol. It is with to show that it is human and not human. We put instead of just two hands, 8 or 10 hands to that, with different weapons and so forth. So it is, and in Durga Saptashati, you see that Mahishasuramardini was produced from those who wanted to kill the demon from their personalities. A tremendous glory, luster came and combined in the form of Mother Durga. So it is symbol. Vishnu is a symbol. Now these are symbols. But they cannot be followed as role models. And so their utility is limited for us. Ganesha or Shiva or Durga or Kali, their utility is limited because they do not have, say, a human life. We need a role model to, learn. Like our some plumbing problem or electric, there's some problem, then the mechanic these days, they do it fast because now they go to YouTube. Somebody has done that work before and they see how that fellow has done. So I can do it like that. So that is called the worship of incarnation of God. God incarnates to teach human beings and shows the path. So by looking at that, because see, Ganesha has no date of birth, no growth. Ganesha, you can weave stories around that, but there is no such thing that it is. So, but then Krishna has birth, growth, various actions, death also. So they are the human forms. They are humans. That is the most suitable for human beings to actually practice religion. That is why you will see all the different religions, they are woven around a human being. Because that is the most suitable for us. Thank you.